Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network. Welcome to Gun Sports Radio, all about shooting, hunting, self-defense, and more. Now, here are the hosts of Gun Sports Radio, Dave Stahl and Lance Pelkey.
All right, folks, welcome. Gun Sports Radio right here on AM 1170, The Answer. We want to thank Gun Range San Diego for all of their massive support. And I do say massive. 7853 Balboa Avenue, 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Go to gunrangesandiego.com. And I hope this is a right statement, but you can get 1,000 rounds of 9mm for $200. I don't know if you still got stuff left.
We got plenty. Come on down.
All right. I may have to come down and get me another box because I found a place to put it, and it fits out just perfect. And I know we have got a guest on the line, but real quick, it comes in a really nice sealed box. Would it be not better to leave it in that sealed container versus taking it all apart?
Well, it's totally up to you. I mean, it's going to be 20 50-round boxes in a sealed cardboard shipping box.
I just left it because I've still got a whole bunch of other ammo.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to have to open it up eventually.
But not right now.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Schwartz, who have you got for a guest today?
Very special guest. As you know, we have put out our first round of endorsements, and today we have Rebecca Jones, who is a city council member for the city of San Marcos, and she is running for mayor of San Marcos. And we wanted to have her on to talk about her campaign and talk about being endorsed by San Diego County gun owners. Rebecca,
cool.
Are you there?
I am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Dave. That was Michael, and we got Hollywood in the house.
Can't wait to talk about what you got going on.
He's the one with the accent, in case you get confused.
Okay. Okay. Well, you'd like to tell me? Would you like me to tell you a little bit about myself?
Perfect.
Let's start there. Okay. I'm a San Marcos resident, of course. I have been elected to the city council in 2008, 2012, and then in 2016. And this year I'm running for mayor. So I'm very excited about my campaign. I've been working on it for a few months now, and I'm looking forward to getting elected as mayor and leading our wonderful city of San Marcos. If you've never been here, I invite you, and I'd love to take you on a tour. We have so much to do here, and you could bring your hiking boots, and you can experience some of our amazing walking trails here.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what got you into politics in the first place. I mean, becoming a mayor is very commendable, and I think it'll be a wonderful. But what actually got you off your chair and into politics, period?
Shoot, I think everyone starts out the same way. I think we find something that we're passionate about, and I think we just kind of go, well, can I do more on the activist sort of side, or is it better to be elected? And so I opted for a leadership role because I was an activist. I didn't like some of the things that the city council was actually approving, and so I stood up and said, okay, I'm going to answer the call, and that's what I did.
Wow.
Well, it is called Gun Sports Radio.
Yeah.
And, there in San Marcos, you have a couple of great businesses. You have Worldwide Ammo Distribution, which is a subsidiary of the Gun Range San Diego. And you also have North County Firearms, and they're building a huge, beautiful range up there. It just broke ground this year. How do you feel about that happening in your city? And then can you give us a little bit, some of your insight on the Second Amendment, how you feel about that?
Sure. Well, thank you for asking because, nothing gets built in the city that's that big and significant without your city council approving that. So when that actually came forward, well, and actually let me go back a little bit further. So when the consultant actually came to us, we didn't actually have a zone that would allow such a business because when we updated our general plan in 2012, we just didn't really think about that. So I don't really have an issue of saying, well, you know what, just because it's not in our zoning doesn't mean we can't allow it. So I think it's a really good opportunity for people to get trained in gun safety, which I think is a big part of kind of the disconnect of people think, well, guns aren't safe. Well, they're not safe if you're not getting, trained properly. So I think that actually is a great opportunity. It's also a lot of people like, just the recreational opportunity to do so. And it's a safe venue, so I like that. And, quite frankly, North County Firearms has been a great business in our city. They have a proven track record of just really working with the city on things. And so I think it's important that you have the right partner, you have an opportunity, and of course, it's a good venue for people to learn the gun safety. So I think for those reasons, I think it's a great addition to our city. And I haven't been over there since they broke ground. I was actually there at groundbreaking. So I'm excited. I actually just saw a video online the other day that they were kind of showing us around. So I want to go in and check that out. It's pretty exciting. The
video of Darren and Stan showing around.
Yes.
They've come a long way since they broke ground.
I know. I can't even believe how much it's changed.
And you were a big part of that. And there was, it's always, when it's a big facility like that, it's a big, because they're building it from ground up, and it's a gun range and everything, right from the foundation up. There's always a couple of twists and turns, and you were a big part of helping them out. And I know Darren and Stan are super grateful for the help that you and some of the other folks in the city council gave them.
Sure. Yes. Well, and I think that's unfortunately, I hate to say it, but there's always challenges that come with development. I mean, you have to make sure that you have the ingress and egress right. You have to make sure your traffic counts are good, and you just have to make sure that everything kind of works out. So there's a lot that goes into land use, and we have a wonderful staff. I'm very happy that they have been able to move this forward because, definitely there are challenges of building any facility that big.
No kidding.
And now so we endorse you proudly, very happy to endorse your run for mayor. Tell us what an endorsement from San Diego County gun owners means to you.
Well, I think part of it is, we have the same values. We're like-minded. We want sensible gun policy, not something that's over the top that, is not protecting our Second Amendment rights. I think it's important that we have the opportunity to have a voice, and I think that I can be that voice, and I'm very sensible. I don't even call myself a politician. I actually call myself a civic leader because I love the fact that people want to come up and talk to me about things and hear what my feelings about things are, and so I love that dialogue. And at elected local level, you can really do that. You really get to talk to people. You see them in the grocery store. You see them, at the dry cleaners. I mean, you just run into people all the time. Heck, out on the hiking trails too. So I think it's great to have a voice that is sensible, and I think, like I said, we really share those same values. So I think that's good. And
if somebody wants to help you out on your campaign, what do you recommend? What's the best thing they should do?
Well, obviously, I have a website, of course. It's I have some great people on my team. It's RebeccaJones2018.com, and I'm excited to actually be able to share that so people can go to my website. They can sign up to walk precincts for me. They can actually donate to my campaign. We do have sort of strange policy for our donations. It's a maximum of $250 per person, $500 per household. But anything is greatly appreciated, of course. So donations and just being able to sign up and walk precincts, put up signs, there's a lot that can be done, and I'm just very grateful for everything that anyone does.
And,
I really am.
And Rebecca's just another example. She started out at the city council. She's hopefully going to win for mayor, and who knows what her political future holds. But it's just sitting down and talking to her philosophically about the Second Amendment, where she stands, and knowing the story behind North County Firearms and what they went through, and just comparing. You talked a little bit, Rebecca, about there really was no specific zone that spelled out gun range, but you guys went out of your way to make it happen. When you compare that to a city like Carlsbad that actually used that to try to keep a range from getting their permit, and it's people like you and the folks that you worked with in the city council to get this done. These are the folks that we want to support for higher office and make sure they get elected. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Just because, like I said, it's okay to admit that you didn't, plan for a gun range or a shooting range in your city, but you have to be able to look at that and say, okay, well, we don't have it, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't have it. And I think that's an important part of the dialogue. I think a lot of people just think, well, it doesn't fit, and, it's just this just how it is. But, as new technology evolves, as new things come up as far as venues and that sort of thing, we have to be very flexible and, provide things that I think our community would want. And I know that it's important to have things for people to do that, are definitely, my son, he has several firearms, and I don't want him to go out and, shoot it in a place that, he doesn't do this, by the way, but, shoot it in a place where it's not safe. But I think, you have to provide those areas. So I think, you just have to look at it as a big picture. Does this make sense? Yes. Is it a good business? Yes. And, people can learn how to safely use a firearm. That's big to me. Very important.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Well, I tell you what, we're going to have to let you go, unfortunately. That's typical of 1 hour radio. That's why I do 3 on automotive. I did go to Facebook, so it was Rebecca Reese Jones.
Yes.
So I just
lived in San Diego my whole life.
I just sent you a friend request, so and everybody that's got all the information there as well. Well, I have a sneaky feeling we're going to be talking to you later on down throughout the year, and anything, of course, we can do to help you with your cause, we're here for you.
And save me a dance at Gun Prom.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm grateful. All
right, we're going to take a small break. We come back. We got Bill Desy on the line. John Dillon is out driving his Tesla, probably. I don't know. Right here on AM 1170, The Answer. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Gun Sports Radio. I'm Dave. Lance is at the Jock Show. Shouldn't that be wrapping up here pretty soon?
Yeah, I think it's the last day. Yesterday? Okay.
Oh, yesterday was the last day?
Right.
No excuse for him not to be here.
Well, he's got things to see people do.
Yeah.
He's sweeping up the floors.
He is sweeping up the floors. Hey, this segment's brought to you by the good folks at Trident Gunsmithing. Trident Gunsmithing is your one-stop shop for hunting, whether it's ducks, geese, quail, moose, doesn't make any difference. They can hook you up. They can get you a license. They've got special armor just for hunters. Go to TridentGunsmithing.com, TridentGunsmithing.com, and hopefully you never get yourself in trouble. But if you do, Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance was your one-stop shop for a lawyer. John Dillon is the lawyer at hand. He normally calls in, but he's a little bit tied up.
I was giving out his number today at the gun range San Diego.
I bet you were.
A guy was asking me questions about, he's got one of these nice bags like we all have, where he's like, well, I got, my guns will lock in this compartment. He goes, but I keep ammo in this compartment, but it's the same bag, and I'm really worried about carrying it around. I'm like, well, they're separate,
but
so you're good by
John
by the letter of the law. However, here's John Dillon's number, and he's the guy that will give you the black and white, no matter what, straight up answer.
And he won't even charge you. So, hey, who you got lined up this time, son?
Well, we had a question. We had an email, someone emailing a question, and John is unfortunately not available. So I thought we'd have Bill Desy from CCW USA, because it's right up his alley.
Absolutely.
Have him call in. Bill, are you there?
I am.
Excellent. Thank you for calling in, Bill. Again, Bill Desy from CCW USA. Bill, here's the question. Lester from San Diego emails in. And he says, Lester wants to know this. He said, I'm a 50-year-old man with no hand-to-hand self-defense training. I have a CCW and carry for self-defense. My question is this. What if I see someone severely beating someone else? What can I, as a CCW holder, do to help?
So a good way to look at this is, what would you do in a similar circumstance if a person needed first aid? If that person needed CPR or the Heimlich maneuver. Well, the Good Samaritan laws obviously allow you to help out someone in need there, as long as you're doing the appropriate actions. When it comes to intervening in a third party, it may be legal, but we don't always recommend it just because you don't know the totality of the circumstances. So some examples like the one you just gave, I would expect him to maybe say something to the manager, tell somebody else, hey, there's a problem here.
Call the police.
If he really was in fear for that person's life, meaning, so there's a difference. He's maybe using some physical violence, but he's not in fear of death or great bodily injury, he's not afraid someone's going to be killed or seriously injured, then you can't use deadly force. But you can use reasonable non-deadly force. Now, again, 50-year-old guy, I know some 50-year-old guys that are still pretty active, but I might be one of them. But the idea is there's still a lot of things you could do when we talk about percent of self-defense is avoidance and prevention, and a lot of it is that use of force continuum includes, professional presence. I've told people to drop the knife, and they drop the knife. So there's things you can do without using a firearm.
Without using a firearm. Now, and there's a couple of points. First off, I think this is really important as we are now seeing more and more people issued a concealed carry permit, which is very important in San Diego to get the right training. Obviously, you're not a police officer. Just because you're able to defend yourself outside of the home, you're not law enforcement. There's no difference between you the day before you had your permit and the day after you had your permit. But there were a couple of things that were pretty interesting about this. One was that he chose the term, beating, which would indicate that he's not confronting somebody who is armed. And two is he's talking about somebody else. So he's not saying, hey, I'm getting beaten, which I think would change the scenario, because then you'd kind of be able to judge for yourself, hey, I'm in fear for my life. But now you're having to judge, hey, this other person, I'm in fear for their life, which is a lot harder to judge. So really what the heart of the matter is this is somebody else who's in danger. And it's not from somebody that has an obvious weapon. Obviously, hands are could be a deadly weapon, but this is not somebody that has an obvious weapon like a knife or another firearm. So, talk a little bit more about that, Bill. When you're when it's a third party and they're not armed, what can and can't a person do legally?
So, depending on what you're afraid of, if you're afraid they're going to be injured, you could use reasonable non-deadly force, pepper spray, taser, stun gun, physical defensive tactics. For reasonable force that's not deadly. You're not afraid the person's going to be killed. The courts and the law does allow you to use deadly force if you're afraid that person's going to be killed. The examples I would give for that, somebody hitting someone in the head, or like you said, beating them on the ground, maybe a much larger man beating a woman on the ground. There's a clear disparity of force. If you don't intervene, someone's going to die. Now, the problem with intervening in that third party is you don't know who's a good guy, who's a bad guy. Mm-hmm. But you could reasonably assume nobody deserves to be beaten to death. So you're not being the judge, the jury, and the executioner here. You're just trying to stop a criminal attack that you perceive as a reasonably perceived deadly threat to that individual. It's much easier to articulate if you could say the person's much bigger and stronger. It's an elderly person that's being beaten by a person of good physical strength. It's a man attacking a woman, an adult attacking a child. If you have that clear disparity of force, it's much easier to articulate. But imagine the person's choking someone. They're choking them. Their lips are turning blue. It looks like they're about to go unconscious. You don't know if they're going to kill them or just choke them unconscious. Depending on the circumstances, what you reasonably believe to be happening, you may be able to intervene and stop that or prevent it from continuing. It could open you up to liability if you're wrong. So that's saying, one of the things we often say is kind of keep it to your immediate family, people where you can clearly tell what's going on. There have been examples where somebody intervenes in a situation like that, and they've saved the person, and then they're holding their gun on the other person that they've shot, and the guy that they were saving gets up and stabs them, or gets up and attacks them because it was two brothers that were fighting,
which is not good.
Just recently, we had an example where a CCW person came to the aid of another person, and he drew his gun, told him to stop beating the guy. Was an older guy, and as the guy's running off, the CCW permit holder's tracking him with his gun. The person on the ground says, "Don't shoot him! Don't shoot him! It's my son."
Jeez.
So again, we don't know the circumstances.
So the term you just used, I think, is really important. Disparity of force. And I actually just did a real quick Google search, and Massad Ayoob. Who is Massad Ayoob?
Massad Ayoob is one of the most well-known experts on use of deadly force. He teaches instructor courses to law enforcement and civilians.
They still use the Ayoob flashlight technique.
Yeah, which I knew you'd know who he was. I just wanted to tell everybody who he was. So he just defines it this way: disparity of force is the element that comes in when a deadly weapon is used in self-defense against the ostensibly unarmed attacker. So just like you described, somebody is obviously, far more capable of hurting somebody else. That's the disparity of force that you're talking about. A much stronger attacker against a weaker, disabled victim. So that's really what you're talking about. Is when you get involved, is there a huge disparity in force? Does that kind of sum it up well?
Yeah, and another way to look at disparity of force would be you're one person and there's 3 people attacking you, or even 2 people attacking you, and maybe they're the same size as you, maybe they're even smaller, but there's 3 of them, and that means 6 hands, 6 legs, a lot of body parts coming at you. If they're trying to beat you, it's a lot harder to defend against multiple attackers.
Or for me, it'd probably have to be like 10 guys, right?
Yeah, definitely.
One small girl. You're toast.
Even on my best day.
On your best day.
Okay, well, cool. Well, I really appreciate that, Bill. And again, Bill Desy is with CCW USA. He's an instructor, teaches CCW courses, and is, as we've seen here today, very much an expert.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, are you starting to see people coming in more and more for trying to get CCWs? Do you see it starting to loosen up?
Well, I see them after they get approved, and I've told Michael this before too. Is I'm surprised at like some of the good cause statements that are being approved now, or some of the reasons people are getting the permit. It was much more difficult just 3 months ago.
Oh, good. So you're seeing
or it never would have happened 3 months ago. And now also the folks that I've told in the past, I've told a lot of folks, hey, based on your business and what you're telling me that you do, you probably qualify for a CCW here. And they're like, yeah, but I don't think I can get one. Yeah. Or somebody told me I can't get one. So they don't even try. So now we're seeing more people that actually qualify under the old standards of good cause or the old processing of applications actually apply now, and they're surprising themselves because they get approved.
Yeah, and it's funny because I do a lot of press events. I just came back from 2 of them, and a lot of people from out of state. And, of course, I wear my Gun Sports Radio shirt. And they go, in California? I go, yeah, California. And I says, by the way, what do you pay for your CCW? He goes, $50. Another one, $35. Another one, $45. Another one, he says, I says, well, how do you renew it? They just send me a card, and I just fill it out and send it back in. And I go, well, what do you think it costs in California? He says, I don't know what. It's about $1,000 when you're all done.
Yeah, not quite that, but it's expensive.
It'll with all the taxes and everything and gas and driving. But no, keep up the good work, man. I'm telling you, because I think we're turning the tide, as the saying goes.
Absolutely.
Yep,
cool.
Definitely looks like it.
All right,
thank you so much, Bill.
Hey, one more time, your website?
CCWUSA.com.
All right, buddy. Thank you, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, sir.
All right, folks. Now it's finally got there. Hollywood is next up, and I know you've been waiting all afternoon just for this.
Just sitting by with a bated breath.
Yes, indeed. The AM 1170, the answer. This is the Home Depot show with Michael Schwartz. If you ever need anything hung, folks, he's not the man to call.
Not even close.
Gun Sports Radio right here on it. We can do this because Lance isn't here. You know what? That rascal's probably listening. You know that. Because you can use the AM 1170, the Answer app. Just get it on your phone, or you can listen to us on iHeart. And if you want or believe in Second Amendment rights, you need to support this radio show, and you really need to support San Diego County gun owners. Because I tell you what, folks, without San Diego County gun owners, all you people that are getting your concealed carries, all you people that are seeing the rules and regulations not necessarily loosening up, but you're being made aware of it because of San Diego County gun owners, you need to join. So get your tail down. There's $10 a month. Come on, I'll even loan you the 10. Now we got Hollywood. He is from Guns Range San Diego. And folks, if you've not been, everybody's talking about how all these great ranges are here, there, and everywhere. You need to go down to Gun Range San Diego. You're going to see the Nordstroms of gun ranges, okay, without the price. You know, you can have your own personal shopper. It ain't going to cost you an arm and a leg like it would at Nordstrom's. And the reason I compared Nordstrom's to Gun Range San Diego is because of the service. And everybody knows service sells. You know, if you treat your people like garbage, that's what you're going to get back in return. But that's not Gun Range San Diego. From Veronica all the way down to the lowest guy in the totem pole, Hollywood. He will take care of you just like Veronica would take care of you.
Absolutely right.
So what kind of hot news have you got for us today there, sir?
Oh, man, we got so many good deals going on over there right now. But, you know, I got to say, you hit the nail on the head about, you know, we broke the mold on gun ranges. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not that going
and you've been around them a long time.
Yeah, it was since November of 2013 is when we opened the doors.
But you,
or 2014, sorry.
You have been around gun ranges your whole life.
All my life. Yeah, absolutely. I've worked at gun ranges in Virginia, Texas, North Carolina.
I mean, you've seen them good, bad, and ugly.
Oh yeah. I've been a part of them. I've visited them. I've been all over the country.
Built them.
Yes, built them, and they really broke the mold here in Southern California, where you know you don't go in there with some, you know, big-bellied guy sitting behind the counter talking to you like you're an idiot.
Yeah. If you don't know anything about guns, get out of here. Oh, is he ragging on you again? Yeah. But, and I already know the range you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not a range. It was a gun store. Right, I know exactly what you're talking about. Well, yeah, there's a gun range, too, actually.
And, you know, they talk to you like you're an idiot if you don't know every little thing there is about guns.
They ain't got time for you.
Exactly. And
you guys strive for that.
Oh, we love new shooters. Love it, love it, love it. We love families. We have people come in all the time. They call in and they say, hey, I got, what's your age limit? And I'm like, well, you have to be 18 for a rifle, 21 for a handgun, unless accompanied by a parent. I mean, if you're a parent and you want to, you know, get your children some gun safety, we have them in there at 6-8 years old.
Yeah.
And their parents are in there teaching them this, or they're coming in taking lessons, that kind of thing. They're having a great time. So I can't reiterate enough how different of an experience it is to go to Gun Range San Diego. And it's really funny when people who are visiting San Diego or they've never been to a gun range before and they Yelp and they say, okay, 5-star range. Okay, I'll go to Gun Range San Diego. And then they go somewhere else. They're out of town or whatever, and they go to a range because, I've been to a range before, and it's not Gun Range San Diego. And then they come back and it's like, oh, my gosh, I went to, you know, I was in Arizona or Nevada or whatever, and I went to this range. It was
Bob's House, a gun range or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like, you know, like Joe's Gun Shop. Yeah. And they're happy to come back to their home range at the Gun Range San Diego.
Well, and it's that way, folks. And I know that sounds like a commercial, but it's not. I mean, if it was just a commercial, I'd have done the commercial and we'd be talking about something else. But it's when you find something that's really good, like a restaurant. You ever notice how when you find a restaurant, you tell everybody, man, you got to go eat there, man. What's that place called? High Dive?
Yeah.
I did buttermilk chicken sandwich. And everybody talks about it.
Absolutely.
Okay? And that's the same thing with Gun Range San Diego, because everybody I've sent to Gun Range San Diego has actually thanked me.
Well, the whole deal is it's not just about, you know, being a different paradigm, but it falls into the whole mindset of this show, Gun Range, or the San Diego County gun owners, where it's no longer a taboo thing to talk about guns and go to the range. It's for families. It's for anyone who wants to go. You don't have to be a gun nut or a big gun guy or whatever, anything like that. You can be, you know, someone who just is
You could be
curious.
somebody like Rebecca Jones, who you would have never thought in a million years would be all into this. But look at that. She's got her kids going and the whole bit.
Exactly.
Well, we actually took, speaking of mayors, we actually took the mayor of Solana Beach, Ginger Marshall, to the Gun Range San Diego. She's looking to get a firearm for defense. And Veronica was there, said hello, and it's actually up on our Facebook page.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, picture of Wendy teaching Ginger to shoot right there at the gun range San Diego. And she asked, I want to go to the range, I want to learn how, and where should I meet you? And immediately, if you want to have a good impact, a good self or a good first impression for a new shooter, Gun Range San Diego.
I totally agree. And then, you know what the best part about it is? And I've never done it. Call ahead and say, Joe, I'm sending you somebody. I want you to take really good care of them.
Oh, no, you've never done that.
No, and I'm not going to do it. I'll never do it. And half the time, you don't even know how they come in, and you don't really care. The whole staff at Gun Range San Diego takes care of everybody the same way.
Yeah, it's because I do have people that say, "Hey, I got a buddy of mine. Will you take care of him?" I'm like, "Sure," and I hang up the phone and I don't even think nothing else about it because we treat everybody.
You don't write the name down.
We treat everybody like they're worth $1 million. So every time they come in,
and I've been doing that my whole life. Every advertiser, everybody I've ever dealt with, I just say, "Hey, just go down there and just tell them Dave sent you." And 9 times out of 10, they don't even do that,
right?
Because they're so excited about either buying a gun or buying a car or buying ammo. And I think the first 5 minutes when you walk in the door, the atmosphere calms you down. Because you might be a little intimidated if you're a first-time shooter. But you can hear laughter in the background. You can hear people talking.
Yeah, we got our TVs on. We got the sports on. We got a movie on.
Right.
We got some sort of game or fishing or something on. And then we got...
it's relaxed.
It's super relaxed. And again, you walk in and you see teenagers in there sometimes, even smaller kids. We got the video games going on, and we got some of the best deals around right now. We have the M&P 1522 for like $379. It's normally $450, and it's this great. It's basically it's an AR 15 style rifle, but it shoots 22 long rifle, so it doesn't fall under any of the new assault rifle jargon.
So because it's 22, it's not,
because
it's not
all
center
the new
fire.
assault, right, exactly. All the new assault rifle laws refer to center fire rifles. So you can have your pistol grip, your
Is it ring
pistol
fire?
stock. It's rim fire.
So I can shoot a gopher
Oh yeah,
if I can catch him. I have never hit a gopher. My Rotties can't catch gophers.
my pit catches about one.
Yours
about one
does
every,
not
about
either.
one every 10 days.
Really?
Oh yeah, he gets them. But I've given up on my yard. The gophers won by all means.
Oh, yeah, I gave up on it, too. But I tell you what, all my Roddy does is run past them. Anyway. Well, and, not joking around, but seriously, I mean, I think what's stuck in my head more than anything is if you're going to buy a gun, half the budget should be training.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love that slogan. I think you ought to make a T-shirt out of that.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Alone and unafraid, half your budget should be in training. Serious.
It's true. I mean, you can have you do an auto show for 3 hours before you even show up. Yeah. I mean, you can buy the fastest car with the best brakes, the best engine, and everything. But if you don't know how to drive it, what's the point?
It's right. A guy in a Pinto will beat you.
Exactly. Same thing with the firearm. You can have the nicest firearm, the most expensive, well-made, whatever. If you don't know how to employ it, then what's the point of owning it?
So what's new coming out in the gun world? Because, I mean, I try to talk to car manufacturers, and they say we don't talk about future product.
Well,
what do you think's coming? I mean, only because
it's
of
hard to talk
the
about
atmosphere.
That. Well, it's hard to talk about that in California because nothing else is going to be on the roster until we call our congressman, or call our state legislator, to call our local representatives, our district representatives, and get them to disassemble, disband, to drop this approved gun roster. Nothing new is coming out in California. Nothing at all.
Wow. Until
we get rid of this approved gun roster, it's going to be less and less and less and less that's available out there. I mean, there are some phenomenal firearms out there on the market that you could get if you lived in another state, just not California.
Wow.
But I mean, there's there's accessories, there's tons of different shotguns and stuff like that. Like I've been talking to a lot of the local shops now that they're starting to approve CCWs in San Diego. Have a case full of carry guns, Glock 26 and Smith and Wesson, whatever. But more importantly, every guy I know, every guy or girl I know that has a CCW has gone through 15 holsters. Has a whole drawer full of holsters.
Why is that?
A ton of holsters. Well, because you get one, you buy one right off the shelf, and then you say, well, I want one, especially for ladies, like you were saying, like, if she wears her yoga pants. Now, if this holster is going to pull them down, or this holster requires a belt, or this holster needs this. So depending, if you want to be able to carry and dress if you want to carry for every situation, it requires different holsters. Sometimes it even requires different guns.
Yeah. So different. There's a bunch of different holsters out there, and
I know you must have 30 of them.
I don't know. I don't have a CCW. I don't have any. I have one holster that I take to the front side.
And you're already crying because you got to get a CCW so you can get more holsters.
So you get more holsters for one for my yoga pants.
There you go. Jeez, there's a sight. All right, we're going to.
I pay $1 to see that.
I would give you $1 not to see that. All right, hey, we're going to take a small break right here on Gun Sports Radio. When we come back, we're going to talk to you a little bit about how important it is to belong to the San Diego County gun owners, because, folks, he's pretty timid about it, but you do need to be part of it if you want to be relevant and be part of the movement. Right,
and we have a big announcement, too.
I preach it.
Oh, you got a big announcement. There's $1. I'll give it to you. Never mind. All right, we'll be right back. This is Gun Sports Radio, AM 1170, The Answer. All right, folks, hey, welcome back to Gun Sports Radio. I'm Dave, he's Mike, and that's Hollywood right here on AM 1170, The Answer. This segment is brought to you by Gun Range San Diego. I'm telling you, folks, you can't get a better range. You've got to go down there. Easy to find right across from the Nissan dealer, 7853 Balboa Avenue. Go to gunrangesandiego.com. You can sign up. You can get reservations. I mean, you can see all kinds of cool deals. And we also want to thank Trident Gunsmithing for all their help. Trident Gunsmithing is located up on Miramar Road. Actually, right off Miramar Road. Just go to TridentGunsmithing.com. They'll give you a map on how to get there. If you're a hunter of any kind, they have hunting classes. Take your kids in there. They'll even teach you how to make sausage after whatever it is you shoot. You want to turn it into a sausage. I don't know how that works. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about San Diego County gun owners.
You bet. We got it. We just
first off, who are you?
San Diego County gun owners. We're a political organization that focuses only on Second Amendment issues and just here in San Diego County. And we have a sister organization in Orange County Gun Owners, and the whole point of what we do is organize the Second Amendment community and raise the volunteers and the funds to get the right people elected, especially on the city council, mayor, county board, sheriff.
And it is non-party affiliated.
That's right,
correct?
Nonpartisan. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, green, libertarian, doesn't matter. Whatever, just as long as you respect and want to restore and protect our Second Amendment rights. So that's what we do. And the reason is because those are the folks that eventually make it to Sacramento or Washington, D.C. So as long as I've been in San Diego, I've heard a number of people complain that, there just isn't enough of a community when it comes to gun folks and Second Amendment, that sort of thing. So we've really concentrated on doing different events to bring folks together, have fun, a little fellowship, meet each other, that sort of thing, all with the goal of getting the right people elected. And on Friday, if you get our email, you saw that we just announced this is our third annual Second Amendment celebration dinner at the racetrack in Del Mar. They have a nice, huge venue because this year we're going to have 600 people at our dinner, which is huge.
That's this coming Friday?
No. April 28th.
Oh, my God. Is that because that's the one I'm emceeing?
No, yeah, but it's April. No, it's not Friday. Last Friday we announced it.
It scared the hell out of me. I'm thinking, I got it. No, I'm only kidding.
No. April 28th.
Is there a big party?
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have it there this time?
Yeah, at Del Mar.
And your back's going to be good?
Oh, yeah. It'll be fun. And this year we're adding, so our keynote speaker is Tatiana Whitlock. Uh-huh. She's an instructor and NRA spokesperson.
Perfect.
And, she's going to be really, really great. And it's going to be bigger and better. This year we added a dance floor. So bring your dancing shoes, Dave.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Are we doing giveaways like we did last night?
Yeah.
Raffles, guns.
The whole, you name it. We're doing
bigger than last year.
Way bigger than last year. Bigger and better than last year. Same price, though. Last year was $150 per ticket or $1,200 per table. This year, same thing. Wow. So it's a nice big venue.
And everybody loved it.
Everybody loved it.
I had a blast. And I brought, Alone and Unafraid, bought a table.
Yeah.
And I sat with those guys, and
they had a blast.
It was a blast.
And yes, you can wear a cowboy hat.
Yes, you can.
Yes, I do every year.
Well, we had people come in from Orange County. We had people come in from Northern California to attend. We have politicians, elected officials.
And I'm going to stop you just for a second because, that's got to be a feather in your cap. When you actually have politicians coming to you saying, hey, I want you to endorse me, or can I get on the show? I mean, that's really got to make you feel good. That just tells me you're doing the right thing.
Well, last year, I don't know if you remember, but we did the Pledge of Allegiance to kick it off, and the person that led the Pledge of Allegiance was Diane Harkey, and she's on the what's the tax board? The Equalization Board.
Right.
And now she's running for Congress. She was just endorsed by Congressman Issa to take his place.
Ooh, goosebumps. I just got goozies.
And Chris Cate, who's on the San Diego City Council.
Oh, yeah.
Got, it was last year, it was May 5th, got May 5th, 2017, named San Diego County Gun Owners Day.
That was great.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah. That is so huge. And they wouldn't do this.
And it was even greater because somebody came in behind that and tried to redact it, and it got shot down.
And we still won.
Right?
And we still won. And we didn't ask for that.
No. But
they just did it. They can't. Chris did it. Yeah.
Heck, I just handed you a $100 bill.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to know, right? Because I just realized, because he's not after money. I mean, trust me, he's not after money. Otherwise, he'd have said, Dave, yo,
time to renew.
But I don't want this organization to even hiccup. I want this organization to keep trucking down the road.
That's right. 900 plus members. We're at somewhere around there. We want to, double and triple that.
I want like millions.
But most important, we want to continue to see this thing grow. This dinner, KUSI and ABC and NBC came out and covered it. Yeah. We want to show people, hey man, 600 people, at a nice venue like Del Mar, the racetrack, which is, if you saw our invitation, it's got like a racetrack theme because the 2018 political horse race starts right now.
That's it. I like it.
So,
and a lot of people probably sit there and go, 900 people. I go, folks, he doesn't do any advertising. Virtually none other than social media, which you take that as he's like. 90% of what you get in is word of mouth.
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot of word of mouth.
And I would rather build a house on cement than sand. And that's what you're doing. You're doing it one brick at a time, one person at a time. And I bet, correct me if I'm wrong, but I bet your re-up list is 100%.
Close to it. Very, very little.
Time we use it.
Very little.
Couple people move or do whatever. But it's really rewarding. We have 3 monthly meetings, one in North, one in South, and one in Central. And it was last week. For the January meetings were last week, and people bring their friends. We had multiple people come to different meetings. It's the same agenda, but one person came to the North County and then came to the South County. One guy came to all 3. And they bring friends and they say, hey, this is a group that's doing something. This is fun. These are people I want to know. And they get involved. That's really, really rewarding. I hear stories about people who, one guy walked into a shop. I can't remember the shop. It wasn't even a gun shop. Walked into a shop with his San Diego County Gun Owners shirt on. And the owner of the shop, was also a member. And said, oh, hey, got to talk to him, gave him a tour, gave him a discount.
Absolutely.
I wish I could I'd totally give him a plug right now. I can't remember the shop. But,
I told you, folks.
Yeah, I hear stories like that all the time, and it's just watching the community come together is really awesome.
Well, you need to throw a little thank you out to your lovely wife, because without her,
she's the best.
You would never be where you're at today.
We would not.
She's
the glue.
Like a busy bee at every event. Glue. I see her.
Oh,
yeah. And I go up to see her. I'm like, hey, and I go to give her a big hug.
She ain't got time for you.
She has no time for cordial, shenanigans.
She's doing about 180 mile an hour. I mean, every time. You're right, because But you got to throw that out there as well, because behind every great man is always a phenomenal woman.
She's one of the best Second Amendment activists I have ever seen.
Yeah. And you lucked it out and married her.
And exactly. And she's doing all the kind of I say it's the unsexy work,
right?
The hard stuff where you got to roll up your sleeves and make sure things happen. She just got approved for her CCW, by the way.
Good for her.
She did get approved.
Is she taking her class yet?
She's taking her class. She's taking her class on February 3rd, which is the day before my birthday. And I said, "Hon, that's the best."
With Bill?
Yeah, she's taking it with Bill. So that's the best. That's the best birthday present. So anyway, she's getting her CCW, and she's going to Front Site at Lance's thing in the spring.
Readers deal.
Lance Readers charity event.
But we need to get him back on here to reiterate that if there's any spots open left or whatever.
But so getting back to Gun Prom. If you want information on our Second Amendment celebration dinner on April 28th, go to gunprom.com.
Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. Now that's the first I'm hearing about it.
And that's an easy one. I'm going to even write that one down. Yeah. Gunprom.com.
Gunprom.com. If one ticket's $150, but what we're looking to do, it's 75 tables of 8. So we're looking for you to, bring your date and then find 6 other people and put together a table and, whatever club or job or organization you're a part of,
or business. Maybe you want to do a little morale building.
So we want to, get the table sponsors in and advertise and get, like you said, get 600 people in the door and just have a good fun, man.
Oh, we had a phenomenal time last time.
And now there's going to be a dance floor this year. That changes what boots I'm wearing and everything.
That's right.
Hey,
That's
Hollywood, I'll be there with my dancing boots on. So
ladies, be prepared.
Come take a number and be prepared to.
The man will be
dance.
Screaming right by you, and if he likes you, he'll grab you. So be there or be square.
I gotta get you a shirt that says #you2.
Oh no, you'd wear it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We had it at the Hotel Del last year, and 465 people, and everybody. Everybody loved it, and I got a bunch of people saying, "Oh man, I wish there was dancing. I wish there was dancing." And a bunch of people went to the bar at the Hotel Del after, and I thought, "All right, you know what? This year we're not going to stop it at 10 o'clock. We're going straight to midnight. And we're going to have a dance floor." So here it comes.
Absolutely, I cannot wait.
You have to go to dancing school.
Shake my move thing. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, hey, I tell you what, that's Gun Sports Radio. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I cannot thank Gun Range San Diego, Trident Gunsmithing, and then good old Gatsky, Dillon, and Balance LLP for all of their major support. We just got to keep rocking, folks. We got to keep everybody positive, and we've got to get those CCWs out there if you deserve it, and we just got to keep rolling. So, hey, this is our show. We'll be back next week. Lance should be with us. Hollywood will have some more ideas. And then, of course, Mr. Schwartz will line up some more. And as you know, we support politicians that support you and your Second Amendment rights. Spread the word. Tell us where we're at, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Gun Sports Radio is sponsored by Love Radio Network.